Hey everyone, how are we doing? I'm so sorry that took me a little bit of time to come on, but I just needed to figure out some microphone issues that seem to have resolved themselves. I'm hoping that you can all hear me okay. OBS is telling me you can, so if you can't, please tell me now. But how is everyone? How are we all doing? It has been a while since I have been streaming, so I have missed it, honestly. Let me just check. I believe that I'm coming through. Yeah, I think I'm coming through. Lovely. Hello, innocent goblin. How are you doing? How are you doing? I'm taking it you can hear me. I think you can hear me. Lovely to see you all. It has been, as I said, a little while since I have streamed. It's got to have been a good couple of months at this point. Not for any particular reason, to be honest, other than just I wanted to do a little bit of resetting over the new year and just really make sure that I was in a good headspace to return to streaming. I've had a very busy January. So I just wanted to make sure that when I came back to do another solo spotlight or to do whatever it is I ended up doing, that I was in a good place for it. I'm very, very, very excited to be doing a solo spotlight, however, because I have missed it so much. I've missed kind of just sitting and writing stories and playing these kind of solo journaling games. And first disclaimer, my cat has become very used to me not streaming, so she's a little anxious. She keeps coming upstairs and meowing loudly at me. She thinks I should go downstairs and pay her attention and stop with this streaming nonsense. So if you hear a cat in distress, it's just my cat. She just wants some treats or some fuss. Secondly, today I will be playing No Mercy for Monsters by Unplaytested Presents. It is a solo journaling game, as all my solo spotlights are. It is about revenge, obsession, rivalry, monster hunting, werewolves. I'm probably, let's face it, I am that person, I'm probably going to end up putting a slightly tropey enemies to lovers, lovers to enemies type spin on it. But I'm very, very excited. Obviously, it's February right now. It's Zine Month, Zemo, Zine Quest, whatever it is that people like to call it. And lots of people are releasing some very exciting games, and I have some incredible games on the roster for the next few weeks, including something by someone that is in chat right now. But I am very excited to be playing No Mercy for Monsters today. It's gonna be, I mean, like, first of all, just this screen that I've got up right now, that art is absolutely phenomenal and is a really big part of the reason that I was drawn to this game in the first place. It is a Wretched and Alone game, and anyone who has watched me play solo games on this channel before will know that I am quite fond of a Wretched and Alone game. Mostly, not completely, but mostly because they do have an end. I am one of those writers that will sit and write for ages, and if I have nothing to tell me when to end, then I will keep going. That said, I will probably stream for a good couple of hours. 2 to 3 hours tends to be my streaming time. I never promise when I play these that I will finish the game. Because, oh, hello, Raiders, I see Raiders. Thank you so much for the goodness. Wow, that's a lot of emojis and things. Thank you, Raiders, so much for raiding. I do see you in the chat there. Where was I? I never promise I am going to finish the game, just purely because I know that I tend to be very thoughtful when it comes to prompts, and I know that I tend to write slowly. My aim is always just to start to show off the mechanics of the game, start to kind of hopefully highlight some of my favorite features of the game, and give a little read-through of how a game starts and how you would get into something like this. So if you're coming here looking for a completed story, you might be disappointed, but hopefully not. I have a slightly better track record with Wretched Alone games, just because of their tendency to just very suddenly end on you. That being said, I have noticed that this plays Wretched Alone slightly differently. I will not be using a tumbling block tower. I will be using a counter. I've kind of created a play screen for this, and I will be using counters that I will be kind of making disappear, I guess, as time goes on. And there's a couple of other differences to the mechanics as well. So we will get into it in just a moment, but I hope everyone is well. I've missed people dearly. I've missed streaming dearly. Thank you once again, Sassy Pants. Thank you for raiding in. I really, really appreciate it. So yeah, let's have a little look then at the beginning. I suppose that's probably the best place to start. In terms of safety, content warning. No Mercy for Monsters delves into dark topics like obsession, self-loathing, guilt, revenge, and death. This is, at its core, a game about hunting or being hunted by a thing that reminds you of the parts of yourself you wish you could destroy. Good lord. You'll spend the majority of this game dancing between the desperation to kill the thing and the allure of giving yourself to it fully. Neither option is viewed from an entirely healthy point of view. The prompts that you'll use to document your journey through No Mercy for Monsters are often ambiguous, but lean into descriptions of violence and psychological turmoil frequently. Specific content found in the provided prompts that you may want to note includes blood, gore, child injury, animal death, murder, isolation, self-hatred, and hallucinations. Obviously, as I come across prompts, I might find if they're not a prompt that I'm really that into, I will change it up. And it does actually say, as most of these kind of games do, feel free to change or skip prompts that you do not wish to dwell on. If at any time the game stops being fun or becomes a bit too intense, please take a break. So I will probably do that for my own safety, but if I need to. But anyone that's watching, just kind of make a note of those specific content warnings, I suppose. And if anything feels, as you're listening to me feels uncomfortable, please protect your own headspaces first. I would much rather everyone feel happy and safe as they are watching me play this game. Alright, I've been doing a lot of talking already. The Woodsman's Creed. By my axe these woods are guarded, by my quarrel this village is safe, by my heart the good folk rest easy, no end to our hunt, no mercy for monsters. So, in this game, you essentially play as a member of an order called the Woodsman. You are tasked with protecting your village from great and terrible monsters that stalk the world. You were trained by your parents as a child, and you're the latest in a line of woodsmen that span back to the dawn of the sect. But unlike your predecessors, you failed. You lowered your guard, broke your vigilance, left your mother and father to pay for your mistakes at the cruel hands of a beast. Of the beast. You vowed to sisters and brothers in the order, to the memory of your parents, to any of the gods willing to listen, that you would track the beast to the edge of the world to see it put to soil, that you would not stop until you had pulled the hateful spark of life from his chest and watched it dim in your hands. A vow that you have kept so far. You've been on the beast's trail for some time, though whether it's been months or years escapes you, the ticking of the clock or the turning of the season is no consequence to you. All that matters are the glimpses of smoke-coloured fur in the moonlight, the flashes of gleaming teeth and golden eyes that have fueled you and kept your hunt alive. You will not be stopped. One way or another, the monster will fall. So, as you can hear, you've been hunting this monster for a little while, but you always start on day 1, and then you can kind of go into whatever day that you like, as long as it's always ascending, obviously. Ooh, I have lost connection. That's okay. Let me just figure that out. Why has that done that? Love that for me. Bear with me, everyone, as I just figure out why I'm already running into gremlins. Just as I was about to switch over to start looking at display as well. Obviously, it was going to disappear. All right. Let's try this again. Okay. So hopefully that's going to work, but I'm thinking that perhaps it will not. Let's head over onto our writing. So as you can see, I've already got it set up, but if I start typing there, yeah, as I suspected, do I need to refresh? Oh, what have I done here? There we go. Right, is that going to work now? There we go. Woohoo! We're back on track until the next time that it fails. Alright, so I've already kind of set up for day 1 of the hunt. I also have, as I told you before, I have a play mat, and that looks like this. You kind of draw out tokens. A 5x6 grid is what I was told in the book. And as I do things, these tokens will begin to disappear, or that is my understanding. So let's have a little look at the book again and just see what it tells me to do next. So, do I have everything? I need a standard deck of playing cards with jokers removed. I have got this, which was good of me to prepare. I have got this. I have lovely deck here. This deck is actually called Under the Moon, which I felt was thematically appropriate. It is by Joku Playing Cards. They are my favourite card company. Hello, Jenburb. How are you doing? I have not started the game yet. I had a couple of technical issues, but I have just about resolved them. I'm just kind of making sure that I have everything ready. Stress? Oh no, I don't want to hear that. I hope that the stress resolves itself. Or are you talking about stress my end? Because you're not wrong if that's the case. All right. Yes, so I have my standard deck of playing cards. I have removed the jokers. I have a collection. Now, it says collection of 10 tokens. I panicked trying to find tokens, and in the end, I just got some D4s. So I have 10 of those, because I'm a dice goblin, and so I have a lot of dice. I need a notebook or something to record my journey. I have got that, as you have seen. I think that is everything. That is everything, apart from the the counterplay mat that I have already drawn. Over the course of playing, I will draw cards from the deck, read associated events, roll dice, reduce my counter, and place or remove tokens from cards. Then I will write about my experiences throughout my hunt in character. Your failure is nearly assured. Your odds of ever returning home are almost non-existent. You will most likely die because something monstrous or simply lose yourself while out on the trail. Whether it's at the hands of the beast or in the further of the hunt is the only real uncertainty. To truly succeed, you must find the strength to do the unthinkable. Mechanically speaking, the game will end if I draw all 4 kings, if I draw the ace of hearts and meet its conditions, or if I roll higher than the remaining total of my counter. So as I kind of start to lose the amount of counters that I have left, I then have to roll dice, and if the total of those dice is higher than how many I have left on my counter, then the game ends. I'm not in a good position at all. The counter kind of represents your spirit. So that is 5 rows of 6 circles. I then need to right now roll a dice, and it says fill in that many circles in your counter. Oh, okay, so actually what I can do, that's fine. What I can do is I can select these. I can bring these all down to 20. Then let me roll this dice. Hopefully it's not too many. 3. So let's select 3 of them. And I've already filled in three stress counters, I guess. Like 3, this is how stressed you are in this game. This is how your spirit is. Then let's head back to the writing. Then, when prompted through the game, I'll fill in circles on that counter. Each time you fill in a circle, you roll both dice. If the total of both dice is greater than your remaining circles, so I guess that's the remaining that you haven't filled in, and that makes sense. Your spirit fails, and so do you. Complete your final journal entry and end your story. Shuffle the deck of cards. I've already shuffled the deck of cards. Place it within reach. Record your first journal entry. They do give an example script. And in this, the first day of the hunt is, and the script that they've given implies that they expect the journal entry to be short. We all know that I'm not great at short. I will make a concerted effort. But really there's no way of going wrong. If you want to go a little bit longer, that's absolutely fine. There's no problem with that. So they kind of give an example script, or you can, of course, choose to write whatever you want. And I think I am going to write whatever I want. So day 1 of the hunt. I want to kind of give a little bit of, I guess, context of how we got here. My feeling, so in this you have failed in protecting your village. Your mother and father were sacrificed in the fight against a beast. I feel like I'm going to go for a little bit of a Little Red Riding Hood theme here, I think. And I'm sure that there's probably plenty of media that have taken this. I can think of one, actually. Once Upon a Time did take this as the way that they did this. So I think that my hunter, who, oh, dang it, I forgot to name them. That's going to take me ages to think of a name now. I think my hunter fell in love with a person and trusted a little too easily, and that person ended up becoming a beast and killing my parents. So I'm hunting them for revenge, but also we did have a thing. So that's going to influence some of my character's thoughts. So let's see. I think my character's name is going to be Rosa. And I fell in love with... Oh... I'm very bad at thinking of names. You know when you just know so many names, but then the moment that you actually need a name, suddenly all names elude you? Of course it did. I have lost connection again. I could hear my cat from downstairs as well. I think I'm gonna change it actually. I think my character's name is going to be Emilia. And yes, there we go. My character's name is going to be Emilia, and the wolf's name, or the person that I'm hunting, their name is Rosa, I think. So I just need to refresh this because of course it has. There we go. Oh goodness, I hope this is not going to be a continuing theme. So, it has been a week since Rosa took my parents from me. A week of seeking forgiveness from the people I love and those that trusted me to protect us all. A week of defending myself and trying with everything I have to overcome the guilt of not listening when they told me strangers are not welcome in our village. I know now that their paranoia was oh goodness, what's the word? Not to be what's the word when someone is was not an overreaction. Goodness me. I know now that their paranoia was not an overreaction. My mother and father especially, I had thought them so unfair. And I think the thing that haunts me most is that when I walked in on Rosa, or no, even then, I tried to let's not have that. Even then, I tried to make some form of excuse for it. It looked sorry. But now I am resolute in my anger. I will no longer just offer empty apologies and platitudes. I will atone for my foolishness. By finding and killing the beast. For whatever that was that I walked in on. It was not the woman I adored. Gotta mute for a bit. That's okay. Alright, but now I'm resolute in my anger. I will no longer just offer empty apologies and platitudes. I will atone for my foolishness by finding and killing the beast. For whatever that was that I walked in on, it was the woman I adored. They and I know. The elders and I know this is most likely a hunt I will not return. They let me go anyway. I am no longer welcome with my people unless I act. All right. All right. So, I think we've set that up well enough. And you know what? For me, that's not a bad length of journal entry either. So I'm quite pleased with that. Okay, so I have done that initial part. I am now ready for the hunt to begin. So the way that this works, you kind of have your hunt, or each round of the hunt is separated into 2 steps. You have your trials, and then you have your journal entering. In order to do my trials, I must roll 1 die, which is a d6, and I draw that number of cards from the deck, place them face down without looking at them. So let's do that bit first. Whoa! I've drawn 4. That's a lot, but it's fine. So let's place them down. So I have 4, one after the other. And obviously you resolve them kind of one by one. So you flip over the first card and consult its entry in the Hand of Fate. The Hand of Fate is the section of the book that contains all of the prompts that are kind of associated with different cards. So in this case, the first card that I drew is a 3 of hearts. So let's head over to the Hand of Fate. Each suit is separated into a different theme. So in this case, hearts is the thread. So it's your memories, your oaths, your connections to your past, and the person you were before your hunt began. So the prompt's going to be kind of themed around that. So 3 of hearts. My first one then is: in the time that I've served as a woodsman, I've stood before the funeral pyres of 4 of my sisters and brothers, not counting my parents. I must run through them in my head and recount how they died. And this is all going to happen in one, so all 4 of these cards, should I not perish during this bit, all 4 of these cards will serve as prompts for one entry, as it were. So let's get let's change this detractor day for a second. Up that a bit. Day. Let's go with like day 5. Give me a few days to settle into my hunting, I suppose. Now I'm going back to this. And this is going to be, I'm just kind of copying these over just so that I can reference them. So, cool. So that's the 3 parts. There we go. Next, so what I've got to do first of all, before I continue, actually, fill in a circle and roll the dice. And what that comes under as well is there's another section to this that is not normally present in a Wretched Alone game. So this is entirely a mechanic associated with this. Is called the pull of the moon. So each time you fill in a circle on your counter, you'll be instructed to roll both dice. If the roll results in doubles, so if I get a 1-1 or a 2 and a 2, for example, both dice displaying the same number, then the hunt is affected by the pull of the moon. I consult the entries below and follow their instructions as applicable. The hunt can only be affected by the pull of the moon once in a round, so if I roll doubles more than once in a round, I ignore all but the first. Got it. So there's different moons, so there's like the wolf moon, the plough moon, the mother's moon, and they do different things, so your journal entry in your game is kind of affected by them, and you can probably just kind of reference them as well, I think, as you head into each journal entry. In this case, let me roll, because I gotta do a token. So let's do that real quick. So it says fill in a token and then roll the dice. So I'm at 4 now. And obviously this is the point where I would roll these dice, and if the number of tokens that I have remaining, so at this point I've got, what, you start with 30, I have 26. So on 2d6, I'm not going to roll over 26. But as you fill in more tokens, it starts to get more dangerous. Once you get to, it's got to be 12, right? So once you get to 12 tokens left, there's a chance that your game will end due to that. What did I get? I got a 1 and a 4, so that's fine, and also not doubles either. Cool. Let's head then to the next. Yeah. Do I need to go on to the next thing? Yeah, there we go. Cool. Let's head to the next card. The next card is the 6 of diamonds. So 6 diamonds. 6 of diamonds. What is that going to be? well, let's see what the theme is for diamonds. Diamonds is the need. So diamonds are the need, your obsession, your desperation, your poisonous connection to the monster you're hunting. And if I have the 6 of diamonds, I have not been given an instruction for this one, so I don't have to fill in any circles, I don't have to roll the dice, which, that's fine. Your path is interrupted by the carcass of an elk. The morning is cool and steam still rises from the torn chest of the animal. You pause to consider how the beast eats their meals. What does the elk's blood taste like? Interesting. This implies that I give it a little taste, which is kind of vile, but also, I suppose I do have to think like the beast, don't I? If I'm going to chase it and hopefully catch it and then just go home, right? I catch it, I kill it with absolutely no emotional trauma whatsoever, and then I just go home. That's all that's gonna happen here. Okay. My next card that I just rolled over, which I feel could be dangerous, is a king, the king of diamonds. Now, let me tell you a little something about Wretched and Alone games. Kings don't tend to be good. Aces, I believe, are good. Or at least they give you the chance for something good to happen. Kings, no. Kings do not tend to be good. Interesting. So, the trap worked. Your beast finally lays before you, caught in silvered teeth and chains. They look at you with wild, nearly pleading eyes, a low growl rumbling from their heaving chest. You can barely hear it over the roar of blood in your ears. Overcome, you lunge towards the beast with your axe clutched in sweating hands. They roll swiftly to the side, and you miss, striking the trap, freeing the beast, and leaving you off kilter. So let's first of all, King. Oh my goodness, this always happens to me. Within the first go of a Wretched and Alone game, I always end up I always end up drawing a king, and I'm always like, well, we're off to a cracking start, everyone. That's fine. It's actually one of my favorite things about Wretched and Alone games is failure is kind of fun because it makes the most interesting stories. So in this case, I'm actually not mad at all. I'm slightly pleased. Let's get this here. Apologies for the admin of it, but it's just so I can get it organized in my mind. Do not discard this card. Yeah, I thought you were going to say that. Set it aside where you can see it. I have done so. If this is the 4th king you've drawn, nope, thank God, you have failed. Use the prompt above to determine how the hunt ended and record your final entry. Otherwise, roll the dice. Okay, so I do have to... Okay, so it's not making me fill in a counter, which is interesting. Or it says roll the dice, though. Oh, I guess just roll the dice and compare it to my current counters. So let's do that and see if I get a double, because right now, compared to my current counters, nothing's going to happen. I did not get a double. I got a 3 and a 6, so that's fine. So I didn't add a counter because it definitely didn't tell me to. But I wouldn't have been surprised, actually, I think, if it had asked me to add a counter or two at that point. But there we go. I have escaped the need for counters. I have started building kings, though, so it's not a great position to be in. All right, and then last of all, last card is it's a 5 of hearts, so it's a game of hearts and diamonds currently. Let's see what the 5 of hearts is then. So again, that's the thread, so memories and oaths and things like that. You remember crying as your mother handed you your axe and gestured past the red bear's corpse into the cave where her cubs remained. Ooh. She knelt down and kissed your forehead, whispering softly, "No mercy for monsters, child," before pushing you towards the mewling young. That is... ouch. That's tough. But thematic, I feel. Very thematic for probably. I kind of like that we're going to immediately find the creature. I think it leaves room for some interesting stuff story-wise. It's good, I think, actually, to encounter it early on and fail, and then that drive the rest of the hunt. So I've got 3 of hearts, 6 of diamonds, king of diamonds, and 5 of hearts. With this one, fill in a circle. Let's do that, and then roll the dice. So you can see there's a few stages to each go, but as you kind of get into it, it will become very, very, very easy to track, I think. 3, 6, 5 there. So let's pop it back onto that one. That's going to be for my journal entry. And roll the dice. Roll those dice. Any doubles? Oh, I did get a double. 2, 2. 2, 2. So 2, 2. So what? Oh, I'm in the wrong font now. I jumped the gun, didn't I? That's what I did there. 2, 2. So let's have a quick look then. That's great. That means that we get to use this mechanic now, and I can kind of go through it. So because I rolled doubles, the pull of the moon does affect it. This is for the plough moon. A double 2 is a plough moon. Let's write that. Spring moon, purity, opportunity for new beginnings. Very, very, very good. During the next round of the hunt, if a heart would make you fill in a circle, you may ignore it. So basically the idea of these moons, I guess, some of them are, they kind of help you, I believe, looking at it. Or it might not be. Ah, yes, so some of them are bad. Oh, that's really cool. It's just a nice little, like, just to shake things up a little bit. Like this one, if I had done a double 4, for example, for the Mead Moon, during the next round of the hunt, if I'd then drawn that king, I would have immediately got to shuffle it back into the deck. And if the King of Spades has already been drawn, which it hasn't, you may shuffle it back into the deck. So that's a very specific one, the King of Spades. That I'll be interested to see what the King of Spades prompt is and why that specifically can be shuffled in. But anyway, let's note that. I'm going to note these aspects and its effect so that I can remember, really. During the next round of the hunt, if a heart would make you fill in a circle, you may ignore it. Let me underline that so that I can remember it. Now I will change to my journal writing. Pop that up to 11. And probably gonna just at this point just do this. Just so I can see. I want to be able to see everything. You guys might not be able to see everything. Can you see everything? If I can get rid of chat for a bit, so let's do that. Cool. So these are the prompts that we have to work with. And essentially you then build one journal entry with those prompts. I feel like you can make a really interesting with this. So just a reminder, I've got to think of my 4 brothers and sisters that have died, and recount each of them in my head. That means coming up with 4 names, doesn't it? That's going to be the hardest part of all of it. I've got to think about the elk, and what does its blood taste like. The trap I've set works at some point in this journal. And I also have a flashback to when my mother made me kill some young cubs, which is very, very sad. And the pull of the plough moon, which represents new beginnings and purity and spring, does influence this journal. So let's have a think. Let's start, shall we? I have been wondering now for some time and have not noted my thoughts until today. Let's pull this up a bit. As they have somewhat overwhelmed me. Grief, though I had sworn off it some time back, still sticks to me like glue. It hardens my heart. It is not as if I do not know loss, or have never seen death. Within my family, big as it may be, that only leaves room for more. To before my mistake cost us mother and father, I lost 4 others, 3 brothers and a sister. Oh, do you know what I may have to do, friends? I may have to just kick up a name generator, because otherwise I'm going to think way too hard about this, and it will take me an age. It will take me an absolute age. Let's go with Bram. Yeah, Bram. Or Bran. Why not Bran? Short for Brandon. Bran was the first. He was younger than me and far too headstrong and competitive. As soon as he realized I was in training, he begged far too soon. The wolves ripped him apart. And we had to sew him back together again to bury him. Next was my eldest brother. What shall we call? What should we call the eldest brother? Peter. Peter, like Peter and the wolf. There we go. Peter. Next is my eldest brother, Peter. The plague took him. It was not how he would have wanted to die at all. Sophia was third, and her death was largely down to inexperience. She did not enjoy hunting. She preferred to research and study the monsters we chased. She thought she could better understand them. But when they caught her scent, she realized too late that you cannot reason with beasts. Do you know what? I should have probably put this on a new, yeah. The last was Evan, my twin. I miss him dearly. I think that's all I'm gonna say about what happened with Evan. I'm gonna leave it a mystery. Maybe Evan will come up later. So I have recounted the tale of my 4 siblings. I gaze up at the moon. I'm going to write that it's the plough moon above me, and vow to hold its promise of a new beginning close. Then I take a deep inhale of the night air. Nearby, something responds with a pained whimper. be my quarry. I know I am close. I have followed its tracks and kills. Closely. Jembub, no, I am not dead yet. I have pulled a king though, and I need 3 more to be dead. But I'm not dead yet. What's the new beginning? Close. I quietly move towards the source and find that no, it is not the beast and the elk that let the noise out mere minutes before has now died. Blood pools around it, and the slashes down its side tell me that Rosa, the one I hunt, has been here recently. If the tracks tell true, she is high on the taste of blood and has taken direction of a trap I set up. Mere hours ago. I smile. I will approach cautiously, but first I must mask my scent, perhaps with the elk's blood. She will be expecting that smell from this direction. I begin to slather it upon my skin, and for a moment I am gripped by a strange desire to understand, just like Sophia. Does blood taste so good that it warrants such death and violence? I suppose I must mask my taste too if I am to be truly successful. Rosa would know it in a heartbeat. I drink. It tastes vile, and I almost spit it out. So she is a monster. I begin to move my way to the trap, and I hear before I see that I am successful. Another pained yelp, that of a wolf, but with some human strain that makes my skin pushing forward. I emerge from the trees and face her. Blood drips from her maw, though this time it is not the blood of my mother and father. When she I do not recognize this thing that used to be the woman that captivated me so. But oh, she recognizes me. Eyes widen. She opens her mouth and lets out some snarl or cry, as if she is trying to say my name. When my hand reaches for my axe, she begins to struggle in her bonds. The chains are wrapped tightly around her leg. They will not let go. The sharp spikes. Damn hot. The sharp spikes dig into her furred flesh. Yes, Jen, I do know that. I wouldn't pretend to know anything about that kind of thing, though. Monster fucking? What could that be? I have no clue what you're talking about. Alright, the chains are wrapped tightly around her leg. They will not let go. Their sharp spikes dig into her. That's not supposed to say fur flesh. That's supposed to say furred flesh. I reach her and am suddenly faced with the reality of what I'm about to do. This werewolf, it has a mane. The same golden colour of roses, long tresses that I adored so much. I blink and I am back in the woods with Mother. She urges me gently to finish what I have started. The 3 bear cubs cry out desperately, whining and mewling as if they know that soon they will join their very dead mother. No mercy for monsters, Mother says. I must obey, but hot tears fall down my face, and here with Rosa they do too. I have not cried for my parents, and yet I cry at the idea of slaughtering this thing that once that brought me equal parts happiness and pain. She tries to make a noise again, and this time half succeeds. My name pleaded. I bring down the axe and miss. It hits the chain and frees her, and she bolts. She doesn't even wait a second. Her instinct to survive supersedes any sorrow that she feels. She is more animal than human, and I forgot that. Another mistake. Or perhaps I did that on purpose. Regardless, it shall not happen again. I don't even know that I believe that. Alright, so you see long old journal entries. This is what I cannot help myself but do. Okay, so next thing to do is When you've completed all your trials, discard all the cards you drew unless instructed otherwise. So apart from the king, I need to discard all of the other cards. So I will not be pulling those same prompts again, which obviously that makes sense. I did my journal, so record actions and events. How you feel about what's happened so far? Yeah, I think I've kind of given that insight. So now we basically just take those 2 steps and we keep repeating them. It's a very, very simple game. Wretched and Alone games kind of keep that structure very well, and it makes it easier to figure out what you're doing. And as you go along and you do it more and more, you don't really end up having to refer to the kind of instructions, I don't think. So what we will do now is I will roll a dice and I will figure out how many cards I'm pulling from the deck, and this time it is only 2, so that's a much smaller number. So this next journal entry is going to be significantly smaller, so let's just I guess. Alright, so I have taken 2 cards. Let's flip out the first one then. It is, it's a court card, but it's not a king card. It is a Jack of Spades. So, spades is... spades are the beast. Interesting. Your awareness of the beast, their actions, and the moment you realise, that you've switched from hunter to hunted. That's interesting. So we'll see what the official prompt for that is. Let's pop this. What should we say? Day. I feel like I'm going to need a couple of days to recover, perhaps. So let's go with day. Maybe day 11 of the hunt. Yeah, I've given myself almost a week to talk myself into getting back on track with this. And I feel like as well, this beast is now realizing that I'm onto them, so we'll start making some plans to mask their escape and such. Let's go with... what's this one? Yes. Cool. So, what did I say? It was the Jack of Spades. Spades is the beast. Let's find the beast. Yes. Jack of Spades. This is going to involve me filling in a circle and rolling the dice, but let's see what we got first. You hold your breath and squeeze yourself deeper into the crevice. Ooh, a crevice. Ignoring the snap of your crossbow string and the burning of your scraped skin as you do. Sweat pools in the center of your back as you squeeze your eyes closed and wait for the footsteps above you to leave. Interesting. Interesting. Jack Spades. Yeah, sorry, that's because I'm British. Jack of Spades. Cool. So we have that. And I need to fill in a circle. Let's head on over here. Fill in the circle over here. Roll a dice. So as you can see, I've now filled in 6 of my counters. So a whole row. I've only got 5 rows left. I'm going to see if I roll doubles. And I've got over 12, so I won't be able to roll an amount that will be over 12. 5 and a 3, so that's not doubles, so that's fine. Then what's my next card? 8 of diamonds, so we're back on diamonds. Diamonds is the need, I believe. The need, yes, your obsession. Cool. 8. You awoke with a fever. Oh, interesting. I feel like this is going to be a very hallucinatory You barely slept in days, your mind unable to stop running through every broken twig, every track, every clue of their existence. You puzzled over again and again. Where are they? That's interesting. This is going to be a short one, I feel. Much shorter. Enemies to enemies. Wow, I'm kind of going with lovers to enemies here. Love to squeeze into a crevice, don't we all, Jan? Just truly like my favorite pastime. There was no what's the word? There was no filling in the circle or the dice for this one, so we are not under the effect of any kind of new moon, which is good. Cool. So let's head straight into the writing of the thing then. After Rosa escaped, I slept and ate little. Within a couple of days, I lost the trail I had worked so hard to build, and I started to feel unwell. I thought of the plague that I had lost Peter to. I hope to the gods that I have nothing like that. I have a mission to complete before I die. Let's put it in past tense. I hope to the gods that I had nothing like that. I have a mission to complete before I die. I started with sweating, which evolved into fever and hallucinations. I hunkered down in a place that felt safe, and yet as I began to lose my grip on reality, I started to feel as if I was being watched from the tree line. Once or twice I could have sworn I saw smoky fur and golden eyes. Rosa is taunting me. She has found me. I am vulnerable like this. It only got worse, especially when the rains came. Soon the raindrops started to sound like the pitter patter of running pools. had sworn I heard squelching of mud. Was that thunder? Rumble of a low growl. If Rosa knows I wish her harm, perhaps she won't let the beast within her deal with me to keep her safe. I spotted the craggy ground some distance away, a hole, one I was certain I could squeeze into. I made my way carefully over and began to push into the crevice, making as little sound as possible. It was already half filled with water, and I knew that I may get sicker if I stayed in here too long. But that and the sharp, rocky scratches aside, I very suddenly felt thankful for what remained of my instincts. I heard footsteps. They paced around my camp. They went through my belongings. They probably read this very journal. And they edged close to me at one point and stopped still some time, as if waiting with bated breath. Full minutes passed before they retreated. this Rosa. The Rosa I know is she no longer in the form of a beast. Killing her will be harder. If that is true. I don't know if she intends to deceive me with this or earn my forgiveness. One thing is for sure. She seeks me as much as I seek her now. Alright. Okay. Let's have a little look. So, I've done a little bit. I am going to take a little bit of a break, I think. I'm starting to cramp up a little bit. Maybe just 5 or 10 minutes, just so I can move around. I might make myself another cup of tea. I do love my tea. Yeah. Well, do you know what? Before I do that, let's draw my next lot of cards. So let's discard these, because then I can see what I'm working with in my next go. So it's gonna be three prompts. So let's get I'll go through the different prompts, copy them over and everything, and then I'll start writing when I come back from break. So, prompt number 1 then. It's another king! It's the King of Clubs. Look at that. Fool. That's not good. Alright, let's let me just write, let's just copy this across, and then I'm going to change what day it is depending on how I'm feeling. So, I guess let's pop this trebuchet, and then, so we've got King of Clubs. Now, have we had a club? I don't think we've had a club. We've not had a club yet. Clubs are the trail. And the king, the moon is bright tonight, so bright and oppressive that its light, oh my goodness, my speaking today, that its light weighs on you like the noonday sun. Your heart pounds and your head throbs, but you continue to stumble toward your camp on aching bones. You fall to the ground, barely able to keep yourself above the dank puddle you've landed in. As you focus on the murky water's surface, you see the eyes of the beast staring back at you. Oh, I'm still hallucinating. I feel like that's me still unwell. That is King. Am I going to be taken out by the plague? That kind of tracks. I get very unwell very easily in real life, so it sort of almost tracks, actually, that I would be taken out by some form of affliction like that. Okay, and then... So this is probably going to be one of those, focus on the murky water's surface. You see the eyes of the beast staring back at you. Cool. Cool. Let's italicize that. Alright. Do not discard this card, of course. Let me set it with my other king. Set it where you can see it. If this is the 4th king, it is not. Use the prompt above to determine how... Okay, yeah. Otherwise, I need to roll the dice. So I'm going to roll 2 dice, see if I get doubles. I do not get doubles. That was a 5 and a 6. Cool. So that's prompt number 1. Prompt number 2 is the 10 of hearts. So, hearts. Hearts is the thread, isn't it? So the 10 of hearts. You lie down on a wide river rock, allowing yourself a moment of respite to stretch your muscles in the warm sun. Seems to be a sunny day today. Yeah. You remember another day laying out like this. Who are you with? This seems to, these go together quite nicely, actually. I feel like this is gonna be a Rosa flashback. That's what I feel like. And last one, 9 of clubs. Clubs are really going at it today with us. So clubs were what? The trail again? Yeah. Actually, let's read that prompt a little bit further, because the clubs of the trail. So I have with all the others, so I'll say it with this one. The mundane hardships of your environment, as well as the otherworldly experiences you encounter on your hunt. Oh, okay. So there's a little bit of supernatural in all of these. That'll be good. 9 of clubs is going to be, you feel the click of a mechanism beneath your boot as the rusted teeth of a trap snap shut on your ankle. Ow. You struggle against the searing pain racking your body as you fight to remove the blood-clicked iron. Okay, that's fine. So I feel like this is going to be day not very long after the other day. I'm still recovering from illness, but I'm feeling better. I've started moving again, and in my delirium, I'm making some foolish mistakes. Okay. Oh no, 9 clubs, sorry. God, that would hurt so much. I imagine. Fill in a circle. Roll the dice. Hooray! Gotta fill in another circle. I'm doing so good. Cool. Cool. Roll the dice. Do we get doubles? I do. Double 4. Nice. Okay, so 4. What moon is this? Is it enough of a moon? Has it actually been long enough? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Maybe it was just coming into the next moon. That's fine. So 4 is gonna be, oh, we talked about this one, the Mead moon. It's the summer moon. During the next round of the hunt, if you draw a king, okay, so if in the next round I draw a king, which, you know, bit late for this round, immediately shuffle it back into the deck. If the king of spades has already been drawn, you may shuffle it back into the deck. So I don't have the king of spades, nor, oh, that's sad, but fine. The Mead moon, by the way, is a summer moon, healing moon, ensuring later prosperity. Gee, I hope so. I hope so. Mead moon. Alright. Cool. So I'm going to have the King of Clubs, the 10 of Hearts, the 9 of Clubs, and a Mead Moon to consider. And I must remember that. Oh, do you know what? I probably didn't do this other thing. Oh, no, wait. That's fine, because it said if a heart would make you fill in a circle, you may ignore it. But during the next hunt, I did not get a heart. So that's fine. That's fine. I'm playing the game properly, everyone. It's all good. Cool. So we have our prompts. We know what we're going to be dealing with. I'm going to discard these cards, ready for when we play our next round. But when I return from the break, I will do this prompt, and we will see where it takes us. So thank you if you have joined me so far. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your support and your watching, and even if you're just sort of sitting here lurking, I really appreciate that too. And I will see you in about 5 to 10 minutes. I will just go and get myself a cup of tea and maybe a little bit of chocolate, and I will be back soon. So thank you so much, and see you soon. Bye. are we all doing? How are we all doing? Millie was, I realized as well, you redeemed treats for Millie. Millie was sleeping. And she's awake now, but she has gone downstairs. So she makes her way up here. I shall give her some treats. Where is Millie treat? I promise I have them. I have them right here, in fact. I made myself a cup of tea. I've got some chocolate. Cool. Okay, so day 11 of the hunt. So we decided that we're probably... Oh no, wait. Let's go with like day 12. Let's make it the next day. I'm actually probably going to change these just because it's like gone into different moons. So let's do like day 5. And then let's make this like day 18. Because that's about a new moon's worth, right? Day 19. Cool. The moon is bright tonight, so bright and oppressive that it's light waves. Okay, yes, that's right. So, interestingly, so this is like the moon, but then there's like about it being like a really nice day in the sun as well. I feel like I'm probably actually going to have them be at the same moment, and I'm going to say that they're not in the warm sun, that they're under the moon, but then the memory is going to be in the warm sun. Okay. Let's get this going. So, don't know why that said choose the typeface there. I'm not sure why that came up. Okay. The medicine helped. My affliction did not immediately disappear, but I felt better by morning and able to move at least, and that is exactly what I did. If Rosa is after me or aware of where I camped, then I must leave that place as soon as possible before she returns to her beast. The day is warm, and I spent most of it in somewhat of a dazed dream, slowly crossing rockier terrain and heading towards a nearby river. The sun beats down on me, and coupled with my already risen temperature, it is an unpleasant feeling. I keep switching tenses, which is really annoying. I do that a lot because I normally go back and edit that afterwards. spend most of it in some of a daydream. Yeah, let's just keep it at that. Okay. It is an unpleasant feeling. Yeah, I'm gonna have this King of Clubs bit actually happen. Well, no, actually, that could happen later. Okay. I take a moment to rest. Finding a rock to lay on and bask in the sun for a moment. Indeed, doing so used to be something I enjoyed greatly, especially with Rosa. I blink and it feels as if I am transported there again. Spelling. Lying by her side and watching the clouds overhead. She would point them out and make silly shapes with them. Probably harder than I should have, but she was far more beautiful than I felt capable of attracting, and I wanted her to feel we had things in common. I wanted to impress her. That one looks like a wolf, I say. She turns to me and smiles. I thought the same. She says. Are you fond of wolves? Not fond of, per se, but certainly fascinated by them. Dangerous they may be, but you cannot deny their grace and beauty, nor their dedication to the hunt. Her smile grows wider, and now in my reflection of it, I much the same, she says. We have a lot in common. At the time, that felt like the most wonderful thing a person had ever said to me. Now I shudder. Now I shudder. I quickly get up from the rock. 2. Day turns to darkness, though the moon feels almost as bright as the sun did. In the way it lights my path. My temperature has risen again. I should really stop and find shelter. Take more of my medicine. As I scan the tree line and outcropping for a good place to do so. I do not see the glint of metal in my path before it is too late. A trap snaps around my ankle. Oh, hello. Hello, Miss Millie. Hi. Did you hear that someone had redeemed treats for you? You've come to collect. Yes. Millie has come to collect her treats. You're taking a moment. Trap snaps around my ankle, and pain blossoms through me. I cry out. I cannot help it. It is worse than the bite of any beast I have felt in my time. But I must think through it. As I lean down to begin unscrewing the hinges that hold it together through gritted teeth. It is a wearisome task and difficult to concentrate on. When it is done, the relief is palpable, but sharp, shooting pains are now replaced with a dull ache and unenviable limp. This will set me back. I begin to make my way towards the closest thing that resembles some form of safety, so that I may study my wound, and I almost trip over unsteady ground. This close to the lake, small pockets of water sit between rocks, and I see my reflection for the first time since I left on this journey. It is me that stares back, but Rose's voice echoes in my mind, telling me how like her I am, how like her I am becoming. Instead of my cool blue eyes, I see the golden ones of a beast, as gold as her hair. Alright, we can probably end that there. I think. Yes, that'll do. I think I've covered all the prompts. So, let's pop this down here. How are we all doing? I'm probably going to only go for at most half an hour more. So it's looking unlikely that I will finish unless I draw 2 kings in my next go. But hopefully this has given some indication on kind of some of the mechanics of the game and how the narrative flow of the game works. It's kind of equal part. There's mechanics which are really, really fun. They always are with Wretched Alone. I always really enjoy the Wretched Alone style. It's interesting not using the tumbling tower and kind of using the counter system instead. That's a really good way of, because I know that a lot of game designers, they do quite often have alternatives to using a tumbling tower. I'm guessing that it's because not everyone has access to or owns a tumbling tower, so it's quite nice to have alternatives. But this is instead of, so there's no mention of using a tumbling tower within this game, and in a way I kind of like that. It feels a little bit more structured. It does reduce the randomness of a bit, and there is ways that I can see that they have tried to make it a little bit random. Like in the prompt, sometimes it's like add 2 counters, and then once you have the dice rolls and that starts your kind of final 12 counters and you are rolling dice, then there is that kind of randomness at the end. But I guess the idea is that the spirit is at that point is where your spirit is really starting to unravel. Yes, it is more accessible. I completely agree with that. It's not. I think I always love a game that provides a lot of options on ways to play, and you could definitely in this remove, for example, the counters, and I think use a tumbling tower instead. If you wanted to introduce a little bit more randomness to it, you could kind of remove a block or 2 blocks if the prompt says so, and then roll dice every time you have to remove a block, and still kind of have the moon as being a thing. So you could do it that way. I just kind of wanted to use the system that they had provided, the one that they kind of said that they wanted you to use, instead of what you usually find in a Wretched Alone game. I thought it was nice to have something a bit different. So props to them for that, and I enjoyed that I've enjoyed so far that they have put in this like moon. It feels a little bit more like, not necessarily hopeful, because some of the moon prompts are bad, but it just adds a further layer of interest to the game. Something that randomly could pop up that will help or hinder in future rounds is always something that is welcome in my eyes. I've just realised I've made a typo here, so let me just change that. Okay, so let's see what we've got prompt-wise. I'm going to roll a dice. Two again. Oh, not many. That's okay. Cool. And that's going to be the 5 of spades. So let's move that to this. 5 spades. Alright. So what does the 5 of spades hold for us, I wonder? Oh, why does that do that, I wonder, when I do that? Interesting. Interesting. I don't know if that's doing that on the stream as well. Hope not. The 5 of spades is gonna be... Spades is the beast. Yes, that's right. Oh, so it's gonna give me something to do. The wound on your chest. Oh my goodness, how many wounds am I sustaining? The wound on your chest is shallow, but it's bleeding heavily, dripping onto the rocks below. Despite your hurried attempts at staunching it. If you don't find a way to stop it soon, the beast will have no problem tracking you across the bluff. Okay, I'm probably actually going to change that prompt up a little bit and say that it is the ankle wound that I have just sustained, just so that it's not that I'm like getting really, really hurt in lots of different places. So I'm going to say that that's the ankle wound that I've sustained, and that's going to involve me filling in a circle and then rolling the dice, because I'm hurt, so that's fine. Let's pop that circle filled in, and then my next card is a queen of clubs. So another court card. Also, look at this gorgeous art. As I said at the beginning, this deck is called Under the Moon, which I felt was very thematically appropriate. But it's got a lot of different animals on it that are kind of folklorically related to the moon for various reasons. Okay, Queen of Clubs. So clubs is... What is the clubs? Is that... the trail? Might be. Yes. So the queen. Huh. Impossibly, you heard it speak. A single word barely audible above the wind and rain, growled out just before you flung yourself down the ravine to avoid swiping claws. Why? Asking you why. Okay. I think I'm gonna have this set on the same day. I think. And then I'm gonna... Oh, did I roll the dice for the thing before? I don't think I did. Let me do that now. 2 and 5, so no. And then for this one, I have to fill in 2 circles and then roll the dice. And for every token, you roll the dice. So I'm filling in 2, so I assume I roll it twice, which is interesting. I didn't pull a king, so I don't need to worry about the plow moon being in effect. And let me just roll the dice twice. I double 4 again, so no, not the plow moon, sorry, the mead moon. So the mead moon is going to be in effect again, which makes sense. I'm still in the same. Let's see if this is anything. No, that's fine. But it's the first die roll that you have anyway. So let's just come and grab this and copy it across. 4-4 for the mead moon. What are the chances of that rolling another 4-4? Interesting. Cool. So the wound on the chest is shallow, bleeding heavily. I'm not going to have it on the chest. I'm going to have it on the ankle. And I think it's the blood that might actually attract the creature. Interesting. So it's like windy and raining then. Okay. Maybe I'll have that be like from the sort of the lake nearby, the river nearby. So after my strange vision, I made it to a rocky outcrop by the river. The water here runs fast and loud, and whips me with spittle as it rushes round the bend. I take my boot off to analyze the wound and begin to treat it. It is not pleasant to look upon. Bruising and swelling has already begun, and it bleeds heavily. This is, of course, what I attempt to address first, but this illness I've had makes my thoughts and dexterity sluggish. I hear the howling far too late. She is close. She smells my blood, and it is not Rosa that is coming for me. It is the beast that lives inside her. Cursing, I grab for my boot and clumsily put it on before hobbling as quickly as I can towards out into the river and wash myself of scent, I have a better chance of hiding among the reeds undetected. I step into water. And head for the nearby plant's life. But the beast is closer than I thought. Its eyes shine hungrily in the moonlight, and it speeds towards me as it has me in its sights. I must employ a similar tactic, though a similar tactic to the one it used to escape me, though I'm doubtful it will work. I call out Rose's name twice. The beast does not slow. It doesn't even flinch. As I reach for my crossbow, to attempt to shoot, my injured foot catches on a rock beneath the water, and I feel pain once more as it cracks. I fall to the side, and the current picks me up. The best I can do now is try to keep afloat. But the water rages faster and faster, with no signs of slowing. I almost want the beast to reach me. I imagine it to be Rosa, eyes wide and panicked, desperately racing after me to save me. Or perhaps Mother or Evan. Gods, I miss Evan. I feel my stomach drop before I comprehend that the river has come to a very sudden stop and become a waterfall. The beast lunges at me, but I am already over the edge. As I splash into the water below, I hear its howl, but it does not sound like an animal. It sounds like Rosa screaming in fury, grief, I can't be sure. Why she howls at the moon. Why? The water envelops me. I close my eyes and drift. Alright. What time are we at? Ooh, we're about 1:45. I'm not sure I'm going to have time for another set of prompts. Let's have a little look and see. Do you know what, actually? Let's have a... I'm gonna slightly skip ahead to what the end would have looked like. Not for any not for any reason to try and spoil myself, but just to see what that would look like once I'd got to the end. So there's a little section here that's titled, "It has ended. Your hunt has ended, woodsman. Did you find your absolution? Did the monster fall?" Take a moment to center yourself. No matter how you got here, the hunt is over and you are finally free. Try to find solace in that. How did your story end? Oh, so it's quite open-ended. Did you find your absolution in the death of the beast? Were you able to realize the cycle you had trapped yourself in and walk away? Or were you destroyed by the beast? Did you meet your end in the tangle of claws and teeth that have been waiting to close around you for longer than you can remember? Or perhaps worse, you were pulled into their corruption and turned fully into the sort of creature your people had trained you to detest. That's interesting, but whose draw you found impossible to ignore. One way or another, the monster will fall. Whether you ended your story coated in blood or covered in fur does not matter. Deep down, you've known the truth from the beginning. You were almost certainly lost, but your woodsman's journal may yet carry your story forward. If not back to your own people, then to others. What will become of it? Will another woodsman, young enough to change their fate, read your words and be moved by them? Or will it be a token found by another soul damned in the thrall of their own version of the hunt? More importantly, what will you take from your time here? I love that it's open-ended. Quite often with Wretched... Well, actually, I have mixed thoughts on it. Quite often with Wretched Alone games, it's not quite so open-ended. There is normally a few different endings, and it depends on how you got there. So if you fell to the kings, for example, you might have one ending. If you fell to the tumbling block tower, you might have another. If you managed to collect all the aces, we didn't really get to do that because I didn't pull any aces, but that includes tokens, and doing something with the tokens, which interestingly, actually, yes. So it's you collect the aces and you place 10 tokens on it each time. At the end of each round of the hunt, after writing in your journal, roll a die. If you get a 6, remove a token. When you remove the last token from the card, fill in a final circle, and roll the dice. If your spirit doesn't fail, you found the strength to leave the hunt and the beast behind. So that's like the good ending, basically. That's the way that you say, okay, actually, let me just not do this. So they've split it into kind of good ending with the aces then, and bad ending, or the ending in which the beast falls in some way, or you become the beast. But they've left that bit quite open-ended, and sometimes I like structure. I like a little bit of like something to fuel the prompts. So open-ended can sometimes work against you, but then at that same time there is a few different suggestions here that they've given, which help to fuel the imagination, but they've kind of left it to you to basically say, hey, so your character's probably going to be lost at this point. How would you like that to end, though? How would you like that to feel? So I really appreciate that. I think that that's a really good way of doing it, and it's written really well as well. I also love the implication of a potential legacy mechanic. So you could then play this again as a different woodsman, kind of enthralled by the hunt or hunting another beast, or you might find this journal. I do kind of like that. I'd be really interested to see that expanded upon a little bit, actually. Perhaps finding a way to really integrate that properly, because I don't know if there's any kind of prompt that talks about finding another journal belonging to another woodsman, for example. If there were, then you could easily kind of integrate this as that legacy mechanic, which is really cool, really interesting. This has been really, really fun to play. It's been a nice way to kind of enjoy it Thursday evening, my end. It's currently funding, so let me get the info. No Mercy for Monsters. So this has been No Mercy for Monsters by Unplaytested Presents. It's a, as we've kind of seen, a solo journaling game. It's about revenge, obsession, and this kind of codependency that you can find between like rivals, or between two creatures or people at odds with each other. I really enjoyed the premise of the game, and I feel like the prompts really lend themselves very well to the premise of the game. It's currently crowdfunding, so it's currently on, is it BackerKit? I believe it's BackerKit. Yes, BackerKit. It has funded, and thank goodness, because it's a really, really cool project. I'm glad it's funded. But it's here for Zine Month. Honestly, I really recommend this one. So I'm glad that this ended up being the first one that I played this month. I'm really excited to play a couple of others as well. So let me try to remember what I've got going on. So next week I will be playing Megan Cross's Oh Patron Mine, which is it's much less of a solo journaling story game and much more of a character building game, I would say. You will be building, or I will be building, I should say, warlock patrons using tarot prompts, and that is a kind of really intriguing concept to me. If you've ever played, I guess 5th edition or D&D 5th edition is probably a good one to think of, but there's plenty of games where characters kind of want to be bound to some being of higher power and then have to fulfill their potentially dark agenda in return for some great power or gift or something. And I'm really interested to see. I'm probably going to play a few different rounds of that and create a few different patrons. I'm probably going to make them all hot because I am tropey and romantic and like to do that. See how many I can romance. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing next week. And then the week after, so that will be the 27th. Next week is the 20th. The week after will be the 27th. I believe that I will be playing Pirouette, Pirouette, a ballet horror TTRPG by Innocent Goblin. I'm very excited for this one as well. You all know I love horror, if today was not evidence enough. And this one's going to be a little bit different. It's about a ballet dancer performing for an amorphous eldritch horror. I love that. Yeah. So I'm really excited to see what this will bring, because this is a quite an intriguing and unique, I would say, plot concept. So I can't wait to see what I will find in that, and that will be kind of the few games that I'll be playing over the course of Zine Month. So thank you so much for joining me. Innocent Goblin, I see you in the chat. Thank you for joining me today, and getting a little sneaky peek on what you might find in a few weeks' time. I am very excited to play your game as well. Yeah, thank you for joining me, everyone. I hope that you've all enjoyed this. I hope that this has been relaxing for you if you've been lurking and working on other things. I hope that you have enjoyed engaging if you've been engaging. And it's been really nice to be back, because it's been quite some time since I've been streaming. I will have another streaming schedule out when the next lot of weeks calls for it, and I'm hoping to have a little bit more going on, so I'm really excited. What projects have I got that I could talk about right now before I head out of here? Well, it's not quite out of Zine Month yet, but in March I have been teamed up with Rich and Catherine from Hatchling Games, and Josh, Art of Arklin, and we are creating Gast, which is a set of horror solo games using the Carter system. They are zines, so we're really excited, and that's going to be for Pocketopia, which is happening in March on BackerKit, so look forward to that. I have also been doing a lot of writing, including for Mappa Mundi, which is currently funding. I have an adventure that I have written for Mappa Mundi, and Mappa Mundi has already funded. It's really doing well, but if you want to get hold of the game, which is a sort of it's like monster hunting, but instead of fighting the monsters, you're there to study them, like your scholars. So it's like a speculative biology ecology game, and it's actually like my favorite game of 2024 that I discovered, and I'm so lucky and so blessed that I was asked to write something for it. So go and check that one out. And this February I've just announced my cast for this game of The Cunning Folk that I'm going to be facilitating. That's going to be on the 28th of February. I'm really excited. The game is by Emily Graymore. It is a game about folk tales and folk creatures and folklore, and you play, or my players will be playing as members of the Cunning Folk, so fairies, elves, creatures, mythological creatures that have a king that they need to get revenge on. And yeah, that's basically the premise of the game. You have someone who has offended you, you find a way, you do some investigation to find the best way to get revenge on them, and then you enact said revenge plan. And to me, that's just an incredible concept for a game anyway. So lots to look forward to. I'm very busy, and I'm very happy to be busy, but I'm incredibly excited to be back. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone, and I hope you have a wonderful time zone wherever you are. I will see you all very soon, but for now, cheerio!